Hey guys, welcome to the MAM Show. And today we have two guests from my own university, Yerevan State Medical University in Armenia, who completed their FMGE exam and passed it in their first attempt. Now, both of these guests had different approaches, you can say contrasting approaches to the exam, and they both cleared it. So, this episode will be very helpful for those preparing for the next FMGE exam and even the next exam. So, without much further ado, let's do it. But before that, let's have a word from our sponsors, BasidiaMed. BasidiaMed is a very unique app which is aimed to help you more for your university exams rather than your entrance exams. So, it covers all the topics in a question answer format formed from the past university papers. Answers include flowcharts and diagrams which are key to getting full marks on these exams, and also has the important words highlighted which are the ones to not miss out in your answer. You can also sort your question answers on the basis of hashtags and low, medium or high depending on how frequently these questions have appeared in previous exams. Also, for taking your own notes, you can type it inside the app and also add an attachment in it. It also has some cool features to make studying interesting, like Instagram like story cases and interactive clinical cases. And yes, don't forget to take part in my giveaway which is currently happening on Instagram, and I'm giving away 3 months of subscription of BasidiaMed for free. So, welcome to the MAM show, Dinesh and Manik. You are my fellow, students from my university. Just like me, you also passed your FMG in the first attempt. And also, I know from your experiences, what you've told me, you both have different approaches for this exam. So, let's first start with Manik. Manik, what was your approach to this exam, the FMG exam, and how did you prepare for it? Or did you prepare for it?
Okay, you first of all, I am honored to come back to the podcast, and I
Yeah.
remember your first podcast was with me, your 10th video on YouTube. So I'm really honored
Yeah.
to come back, and I've seen you grow. I mean, exponentially. So great job. Now let's come back to the question. So I did not prepare for FMGE, so to say.
Yeah.
I did not study for FMGE. It was mostly my basics knowledge and my knowledge from my final exam in my university, which we call state exam. Because of that, with the help of that, and obviously the most important tool, Anki, is what made me clear my FMGE without actually opening books to study for FMGE.
So let me be clear. You did not even study one day for FMG, am I right? Like, not even a day?
No, no. And I know people will be shocked hearing this, like, how could he do that? But I did not. Okay, let me tell you one thing. I actually picked up the book PSM, the subject PSM. I opened it, actually started watching the first chapter, which had like cohort case study thing,
Yes, yes.
and I stopped. I couldn't. I mean, I'm sorry, but it was so boring for me that I was like, I'm done. And I was told by my senior, Dr. Prabjot Singh, he told me that at least go study PSM because you'll get about 20-30 questions from there. But still, I didn't do it. Yep, guilty.
Okay. So let me tell you one thing, guys. Whatever Manik is saying also applies to me, because me and Manik, we basically studied even in med school for our final exams, and even whatever we did for FMG, whatever we did not do for FMG, we did it together. So whatever Manik is saying also applies to me. But now let's come to the other side of this, with Dr. Dinesh. I can call you doctor now, especially in India. So Dinesh, what was your approach for the exam? We know Manik and myself, we treated it as a screening exam. Like, just pass it and be done with it. Waste no time preparing for it. Focus on your goals after the exam. But from what I know, you had a different approach. So tell me more about it.
So first of all, congratulations on your YouTube channel. It's like growing so good, and as I always say,
And also, I will link Dinesh's YouTube channel down in the description box below. He makes amazing vlogs. related to medicine and trips and life in general. So yes, here you go, Dinesh.
Thank you for adding that. And yeah, I keep on saying you that you all people inspire me a lot, and especially Nanobot Medicine is really inspiring. And I see all the blogs and podcasts. And I feel special about this podcast because I'm currently on this podcast and whatnot, you know. And coming back to the question, what I feel and about my preparation, when I started the journey in med school, the ultimate aim is to pass the FMGE. You know, I did not have any
Yeah.
other thought other than thinking about FMGE a lot. So when I graduated from YSMU, my ultimate goal was to crack this, to sit and read. So at first I thought to go to any institute to have offline coaching, but then the pandemic and all of the stuffs uh, told my mind that better stay back at home and do the stuff by having any online platform. So I chose
Yeah.
PrepLadder. Although many of my seniors are asking me to go to some other platform because for doing the online thing, motivation. That's a big factor. It plays
Yes.
a lot in your daily work and schedule. So, but I got a positive side on online platforms. So I sat with PrepLadder at first, and then eventually, I switched platforms because I felt that a lot of faculties out there having a great knowledge in different subjects. And yeah, so this is a brief about my journey. I did everything from online.
Okay. Okay, so you did everything to crack FMG, like
Literally.
as you said, from the first day you entered medical school, you were like, I have to crack this exam. So you did it. So
Thank you.
so everything was for FMG, and for Manik and me, we did not do anything for FMG. So these are two different approaches, and you can see all three of us have passed FMG. So now let's move forward and try to understand the approaches more, starting with Manik. So Manik, you said like you did not prepare for FMGs. Then how did you crack it? Like what did you do to crack FMG without preparing for it?
Okay, so like I mentioned before, it was mostly, I'm telling you right now, it was mostly my basic knowledge which I gained over the years studying in Yerevan State Medical University. And then also doing some, because and my friends know that my aim is to apply in the US or UK. So
Yes.
I've been doing some videos, USMLE based videos, physiology videos, pathology videos, pharmacology videos, which really help me make my foundation strong, my basics strong. And because I used to actively recall these concepts using Anki, the flashcard app, uh, it really helped me retain this knowledge, and I applied this knowledge in the exam. And let me tell you
Okay.
something, when I sat for the exam and when I went through all the questions, I knew for a fact if somebody who would have actually studied for the exam would pass. It's not
Yeah.
it's not impossible. It's not rocket science
I
in
can
the
second
exam.
that.
Trust me,
Yeah.
it's so straightforward. It is so, if you know, you know. It's as simple as that. Like you will barely have any doubts, barely between two options. Like, oh, is it that option or is it this option? Barely, if you have studied and if your concepts are strong. So with me, I only from my um, previous 6 years of medical knowledge, as well as some knowledge gained from USMLE based videos, I was
Yeah.
able to crack the exam.
Okay, so we will go more into the detail of what all did you do, what all did you cover. But now let's come to Dinesh. Dinesh, you prepared for FMG. So when did your preparation actually start?
Honestly, the preparation started in the start of 2021 because we have state exams, so we usually start
Start of 2021, just
Jan
to clear, start of
January
2021 means that you were in your final year,
to
halfway
yeah,
done through your final year.
halfway to the final year. So I started with Ops Gynae, and uh, I also had to manage a lot of other things in this journey. So
Yeah.
what I did was like I thought of completing in medicine obs-gynae and surgery on all those 6 months. And thanks
Yeah.
to YSMU in that case, they made us fine with the subject. And when I came home, I took 3 days break, and I started my preparation. I guess 26th of July, and it went on for 100 days, and yeah,
Okay.
and I gave the exam. So it was I would say 100-day honest preparation.
Okay, so you prepared for 100 days after your this final exam, and some parts
Yeah,
of it you also completed throughout your journey for your state
yeah.
final exam, which you had to give. Okay, so let's dive into that more and continuing with Dinesh. So, did you, first of all, did you manage to complete all subjects? I'm assuming you studied subject wise.
Uh,
Okay, so did you manage to complete all the
So I
subjects?
was told from a lot of seniors as well as the people trying to reach out, reach us from YouTube, videos of what all I got to know is like do all the subjects, do not skip any of them. Like it is really important to do all
Yeah.
the subjects. So I had in my mind that I will get stronger with the preclinical subjects first in the first place, and then I go for the clinical ones because I've already done it. I've already like brushed those, right? But the preclinical
Yeah.
ones, we have done it in the first and second year, so we have to do a lot of things. So um, I did not do surgery that much for the FMG preparation. I did not do microbiology that much, and I did not do physiology. Other than these three, I'm pretty much able to complete that 16 subjects. So
Okay.
at least I did rapid
Okay, so
revisions
you
from.
man. Okay, so you did complete rapid revisions of the three subjects you
No,
left.
no, no. I did not touch.
No,
Because
you
I
did
didn't find
nothing at
time
all.
actually. That's the problem. 100
Okay,
days, it's a
okay,
lot.
yeah, because it's 100
Yeah.
days. Okay, so you managed to complete 16 subjects and pass the FMG exam, and you did 100 days of honest
Yeah,
work,
honestly.
if I'm
Yeah.
not wrong. 100 days of honest work. Okay, so jumping to Manik. So Manik and me, that so applies to both of us. We did not do anything. So what would you give the credit to? Like, of course you said that we studied for our basic knowledge, we studied for our final exam, and cumulatively whatever we did helped us pass for FMG. But if someone wants to follow our approach, Manik, you and me, what should that person start with? Where should that person start with? And why should that person follow this approach?
Okay, great question. So I would say I've never been okay with studying subject wise. Like I cannot do all physiology first, then all pathology or something. I'm more of a system wise person. I approach things systematically, and I've seen your videos also. You have also said that you also personally approach things systematically in systems. So let's say I'm doing cardiology. I will start with physiology first, then I will go to pathology and then pharmacology. So, this way, I am connected with the subject, I'm connected with that system, that part. It's not like I do cardiology, physiology about like let's say 6 months ago and then 6 months after I'm doing pathology. Because of that,
Yeah,
there is a chance I can forget physiology, and
yeah.
after doing pathology I jump onto pharmacology, pharma. So this helps me have a structured system in my head, and this actually helped me with answering my FMG questions also. This was
Okay.
one way I approached studying subjects, studying systems. And secondly, I would say doing active recall. Now,
Yeah.
again, from your video, you did mention this before, where you said that active recalling is the best kind of method, and I actually took your approach. I took your advice, and I started doing that, and I haven't seen anything better than that. Yes, there are people
Okay.
who open books and then they will just read through the things which they have studied before. Sure, that also works. I'm not saying that doesn't work. There are people who have done that and have cleared their exams. But for me, active recall is the best kind of approach where I have this. I mean, there's this application Anki, and you
Yeah.
just actively recall during that time.
Yeah.
It
So
really
flashcards.
Flashcards, yes, flashcards. You can either do it via the app Anki, or oh my god. By the way, Anki isn't promoting this video, so
I wish.
yeah. I've seen people. I've seen study grammars making flashcards, like they're writing it down.
Yes, on
And they're making,
paper.
yeah, on the paper. And sure, it's time taking approach, but it also helps. And I just saw your reel recently where it was, would you prefer self-made notes or pre-made notes?
Or
And I
pre-made
voted
notes.
for pre-made notes, obviously. So it's just like that.
Yeah.
So I would,
So you voted for pre-made notes. That also, can you tell me that you used a pre-made deck for FMG?
yes,
I mean, for your basic knowledge, because you
Yes.
did not study for FMG. You studied for your USMLE, UK, PLAB, whatever you want to do after
Yes.
FMG. You are studying for that.
yes,
And your approach is, let me just study for that. Let me just gather my basic knowledge. And hopefully I will have enough knowledge to clear FMG without preparing for it.
yes,
Right?
yeah,
So you used a pre-made deck, which I know, it's the Anking deck. We
Yeah.
both used it.
yeah.
So objectively, how much can you say of the Anking deck you did? You have not completed it, I know, like
No.
I'm just saying. So how much was there in the FMG exams? Like straight questions, like literally there was a flashcard and the question is like picked up from that. How much percentage would you say?
If I have to guess, probably around 35%. 35% were
Okay, from the stuff you had done,
from the practically from the flashcards. So
you had
it
done
was
like
mostly,
straight knit and pick.
So when I say it was directly from the flashcard, it means they were very high yield topics. And if you study high yield topics from anywhere, from Prep Ladder, from the Anking deck, from any video, the high yield knowledge is the same. And that, I think, at that time while I was giving the exam, recalling those high yield knowledge made me pass the exam. Had I not been able to recall the high yield knowledge, high yield points, I wouldn't have been able to pass the exam at all. So I would say 35% something of it were directly from the flashcards, and the rest, part of it was luck. Part of it was
Yeah,
luck.
and some you did questions, practice questions for USMLE.
Yeah.
You did your state exam. You had knowledge from that.
Yes, exactly.
So, like you and me, we had a cumulative knowledge of the basic knowledge for USMLE, UK, whatever exam. The state exam knowledge of surgery, obs-gyn, and medicine, and also the knowledge we gained throughout the years of medical school. So, all this helped us pass FMG without preparing for it. And if Dinesh also had all this knowledge from medical school 6 years, plus he actively studied for FMG.
Yes.
So this is what we've summarized in the two approaches. Now let's further dive into both the approaches, specifically on Dinesh, because I think most of the people are following the approach which Dinesh followed. They are preparing actively for the FMG exam and not relying on their basic knowledge like me and Manik. Which is risky, no doubt. But like it's always better to prepare for an exam you're giving. So Dinesh, tell me more about it. What did your day look like? Like when you were preparing for an exam? When did you wake up? When did you sleep? How many hours did you study? And etc. and etc. What, like a day in the life of Dr. Dinesh preparing for FMG?
So actually, it's an interesting question because I have made a vlog of all the days. I mean, like, not all the
Yes.
days, but like intermittently for every 10 days, I try to update, and I made videos and I'm like editing it now. So maybe I'll post it
Yeah.
one day. And it's really like interesting how a human mind works all alone, sitting and doing all the readings and watching videos, solving questions, and still continue to do that same for another 100 days. It's interesting. And when I was back at home, it was like really nice to see people around the family. But I thought I would take a mansion out and I stay alone and do like the preparation more effectively.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it was very productive. But then I felt the loneliness doing all this, because I had two other friends who were also with me, uh, having the like preparation time in prep ladder. But it's again long distance, and you can communicate not very
Yes.
frequently. It's actually tiring, but you should have this attitude of you have taken the goal and you have to achieve it, and nothing else will stop you. It just keep on going. If you have that goal and determination that you want to take this exam, nothing can really stop you. You will just go to the success. So
So that's what kept you
yeah,
going.
true.
Like you had a goal, definite.
And
Like,
moreover, I added notes everywhere on the wall, on the door. So
okay.
like whenever I open my eye, I see something about the preparation only. So it kept me going in that way. So I helped myself.
Okay, so walk me through. Are you a morning person, evening person? When did you study? How many hours did you study, like in a whole,
That's
in a
very
day?
objective question to answer for like how
Yeah,
many
but people
answer.
like to know. People like to know.
True,
Let
true,
me tell
true.
you. Like, for example, even if I'm, for example, gearing for USMLE, I would like to know a person who's passed USMLE, how many hours did he study in a day and for how many months? So, maybe subjectively, I can also try to do that, and I will gauge my expectations accordingly. Like, okay, he studies 6 hours for 5 months. If I do the same, maybe I will get somewhere. So just a rough idea on, like, you studied for 100 days. What did your day look like? Was it all studying? Was it studying and chilling or something like that?
Got it. Yeah. So my journey is totally different, I guess, because I did not use any like social platforms. I gave up on Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, and
Okay.
whatnot, like everything. And
So
yeah,
deactivated from
because
everywhere.
I'm a person like I used to get very easily distracted to things, and it really won't work if I give up on the things that is like distracted. So I did that to me, and I felt like really productive time. So in this case, to answer this question, the entire day is kind of thinking about the exam and working on it. But still, like there were few days or a lot of days I wasted literally by going out, or it's all like of stress and frustration that you're not improvising your scores in the mocks and all.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically it happens with everyone. But to your subjective question, like how many hours I study, maybe I can say around 8 to 10 hours. But then the productive hours will be of 4 to 5 hours in a day. Trust me, this is how
Okay.
it works.
So you, for example, if someone's following your approach, which is studying everything in the last stretch, last 100 days or last year of your final year, if you are in that category, you do not have, you have knowledge from your state exam and all, but you still want to study specifically for FMG. uh, Dr. Dinesh studied for around 4 to 5 hours. Now let's come to the other side of the coin. Me and Manik. So as you know, we did not prepare for FMG at all, and our days were uh, full of contrast to Dinesh's days. Like, we chilled a lot. We actually purchased new gaming consoles in our after our graduations and all. But this is where the difference comes in. We did not actively prepare for it in the last stretch, but I think we worked extra hard during our medical school years when other people might not be, studying for that. Other people were just concentrating on the university stuff. Not all, I'm just comparing as a general, but we did something extra. So that extra day, how did that day look like in to you, Manik, when you were studying your basic, brushing up your basic knowledge while still in medical school, just to gain that basic knowledge for any exam which comes in the future? How did that day look like?
Uh, I would say it was actually fast to go through that day because I was so involved. Um, you know my schedule. My friends know my schedule. I used to get up in the morning and have my breakfast, everything, go to the gym, come back from the gym. I used to do that because then I would not have any distractions. I would not be
And
like,
then university, you had university also.
yeah, university was online. Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, we are talking about final year, yes.
Yeah, no, like from the day you started preparing, like you started doing Anki for like 500-600 days ago, I don't know,
Okay.
depending on your
Okay. Got it.
streak,
Got
you
it.
know, 600-700, whatever. So you had university, you had university exams, you also had to study, brush up your basic knowledge. So how did that day look like?
Okay, fine. So, starting the day, I would get up, just have my breakfast, go to the university, come back, and then go to the gym. I used to do that before starting to study because then I would not have any distractions, or I would not think that, oh shit, I have to go there, I have to go here. So, once I used to come back from the gym, I used to be home. And and I used to make it a point that I would do like 1-2 videos a day, um, educational videos, obviously. And I would then, after that, I would try to finish off everything by evening, because I
Yeah.
always had a set schedule that I'm gonna finish it by evening, so that, because the party starts happening from evening. Yeah, if anybody has to go out for dinner, for partying, for something, it happens in the evening. So I used to make sure evening would be free for me to go out, hang out with you guys, and obviously sometimes game also at night. So if Dinesh said, yeah, like his productive hours were actually from 4 to 5 hours. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. 4 to 5 hours.
Yeah.
For me, it was definitely half of that. Maximum
So
2 hours.
2
Like on a
hours,
good day,
but
on a good day, two
yeah.
hours, 2.5 hours.
Yeah, but we can say that this lasted for the past, this has been going on for the past 300, 700 days consecutively, not
Yes.
missing
Yes.
any day, doing Anki every day, studying every day, no matter what, keeping that streak. So, this is where I think the difference is. If you go in the last mile, uh, Dinesh's approach is amazing. 100 days, focus, go away from everything, Instagram, Facebook, or at least limit yourself, because covering all the syllabus of 6 years of medical school as we have it in outside India, of 19 subjects is very tough, and even completing it in 100 days, even half of it is a task, and especially doing questions, giving mock tests on top of that. On the other side, if you study every day for 2 hours for the past 3 years or 2 years, then it becomes a bit easier. But then there is a risk that you're not preparing for this exam, you're just preparing in general. So, but in the end, we can say both approaches have worked wonderfully. And if you are a third or second year medical student, you can go with mine and Manik's approach. Start today, work on your basics, do everything, study every day. And if you're in your final year, definitely go with Dinesh's approach. Our approach will not work.
For
You
sure.
will fail FMGE for sure.
For sure, yeah.
Because it takes time. 2 hours a day won't be enough, I would say. Anyway, so we have compared the two approaches very well. Now let's jump on to what the exam was like, which we all gave. We gave the same exam, we passed the same exam. So, did you see any change in pattern first, Dinesh? Because you gave a lot of mock tests, you attempted past year questions. Me and Manik, we did not do that. So, what change did you see from your past exams or mock test exam to this exam?
So to start with this question, I had really given 11 marks and or 12 marks from
11 marks.
and 9 I guess from the pep ladder itself, and 2 were from outside. One is from list and one is from Unacademy. And to be honest, these platforms actually they follow this like syllabus, the proper syllabus. They actually get the proper question, not like the question numbers will be the same as in the syllabus. But I guess it's fine. You know, you get prepared for the syllabus, so you have a better understanding that you have to like allocate time for every other subject and do that. But when it comes to the exam, the real time exam, it's totally different. And as per the next is concerned, they are more focusing on to the clinical subjects, and they're going to have the allied subjects here and there. They're not much focusing on those, but it's not like you should not do those subject and only do this clinical. It never happens like that, trust me. So yeah, like what I felt on the exam was they are more onto the clinical approach and integrated manner, which is really helpful for any medical student to apply the science of medicine and to answer easily. It's not like asking what is the most common thing and
Yeah.
or the diagnosis or the um, how to say that
What they
investigation
used
of
to
choice.
ask,
Yeah,
like
usually, yeah,
most
right.
common,
But these
yeah,
days,
most common ovarian cancer, most common testicular cancer, and like one word answer, one liners. I don't think so I saw any one liners,
No,
like
yeah.
except
there wasn't
a
anything
bit,
like that.
like not at least in pathology and stuff like that. There were no one liners. It was always a patient
So
comes or a person presents with this, something like
So
this.
at least this kind of approach will help any medical student to apply that science with a satisfactory manner. Like I have applied this and I have answered this question without any doubt. So I guess the exam
Okay.
was good in my point of view, and I did not face that much of difficulty when I compared with the mocks. Actually, mocks were pretty difficult to my knowledge, and I stayed on 50 percentage always in the prep ladder platform,
Okay.
and only one test I
Okay.
scored of 159, and thanks to mist,
Okay.
because the mist mock was the last one I gave, and it really gave me the confidence of taking the real exam because I scored 181 from mist, and I it
So
really
it was easier than the prep ladder
true,
mock
yeah. It's
exams.
actually like relatively easier, but it had different set of questionnaire. It's not like which I had seen it from prep ladder, but the
Okay.
real time exam is like it is all integrated. Like there were questions I found it from
Yes.
Unacademy. There were questions I found it from NIST. The biochemistry I literally found many questions from biochemistry from this NIST, and then also there were questions from prep ladder. So it is like there is nothing like only one platform can help you with all this knowledge. You have to try searching
Okay.
for the best one out there. So this is
Okay.
what I felt after giving the exam.
Okay, now coming to Manik. So Manik, yours and mine approach was based on having a good basic knowledge in medical school. What do you do if you do not have a good basic medical knowledge? For example, you are a fourth or a fifth year medical student in a 6 year curriculum, and you feel okay, I can go with this approach of Manik and Subhav, and let me brush up on my basics. Let me study every day for the next 2 years, even if it's 1 hour or 2 hour. Let me get the streak going. Where should I start? What should I do to cover my basics?
Okay. So if you had to take my approach, I would definitely tell you to first of all subscribe to. I mean, from my experience, I subscribe to Boards and Beyond. I subscribe to Pathoma, and I subscribe to Sketchy. So Boards and Beyond is for physiology, Pathoma, as the name suggests, for pathology, and Sketchy is for it has different subjects, but pharmacology is the one which I'm following from Sketchy. So I started doing these video based lectures, yes, because I was just tired of studying from books and they are so boring. You open a book, you don't understand half the things, and then you have to anyway look up Google, or watch a video from Google and all,
Yeah.
and it gets boring, it confuses you more. So, my advice to the guys watching, third year, fourth year students, is that you start subscribing to video based lectures, the ones which I just named, and it will actually help you, strengthen your foundation, your basic knowledge, and once and what's and you have those Q banks also coming with it. So
Yeah.
that actually motivates you further. Initially, you're always scared.
Yeah.
You're doing the Q bank like I did. I did a few Q banks, and I used to get really bad marks, like extremely
Yeah,
bad
I
marks.
I remember I remember once, like me and Manik, as you know, we studied together. We both have subscribed to Boards and Beyond, and I was a little bit ahead in my preparation of basic knowledge than Manik. So I used to reach the question banks, and Manik was still studying the topic. So what I did, I used to send one question a day to Manik, and Manik used to answer that based on what he's been studying. He has not studied the whole topic, but he used to answer it. So, how was that experience, Manik, to answer a question with little bit knowledge and almost like having a high chance of getting it incorrect. Did that help you?
Well, as you know, and let me tell it to everybody, when Subhav used to do that, 80% of the times I used to answer wrong, and
Yeah.
and it used to feel a little bad. Like I studied it, and still I couldn't answer it. Like the answer was literally inside the question, and I couldn't do it. But I never felt demotivated because see, you keep on making mistakes, and it's only from the mistakes, you learn.
We
You
learn.
actually learn from your mistakes. I'm
And
telling you.
actually, I remember so many of our conversations, the questions we've discussed that you've got wrong. I specifically remember those questions now. Like now, like if that question comes, I still remember it was patent foramen ovale, the emboli reaching the brain. I still remember very specific questions you and me discussed. We both got wrong or something like that. So yeah, doing questions again, you learn from your mistakes, as you said.
Yeah, and secondly, you need to have somebody who motivates you. Uh, I guess if it wasn't for you motivating me to answer the question, to approach certain
And
ways
vice
of studying,
versa.
yeah, I think I wouldn't be sitting here talking about clearing FMGE. You and there is someone there is you need to always have that some kind of an external factor which motivates you towards doing, which pushes you. Whenever you
Yeah.
are feeling down, you should have someone or something, some aim. Like Dinesh said, like he had stickers all over the walls and all, like
And
which
he even had 2, 3 friends preparing with
yeah,
him.
And
yeah.
also,
So that
I had also the special person motivating me throughout the journey. So I should also add to that. So
Okay. So yeah, so basically all three of us had someone or something guiding us through our process, be it a 2 year, 3 year knowledge process or a 100, 200 days last mile process. In both these processes, nothing is easy. We need something to get ourselves motivated. That's the basic thing
true.
here. Okay, so now let's coming much further from our preparations. Okay, let's say Manik and me, we have prepared. Dinesh has prepared. Now what? What about the revision? It is so much. The syllabus is so vast. It's 6 years of medical school. Okay, you do not do the whole syllabus. You do like 70% or 80%. But there comes a time when you are on 60% and you've forgotten the first 20% of your syllabus. So, what are your thoughts on revision? Starting with Dinesh, how did you revise? Did you revise daily or did you finish a topic revised, or what was your revision schedule like?
so revision was the most important as well as frustrating like, throughout this journey to myself because at first I had a plan of completing the subjects and then going for revision, but eventually I found a very difficult time handling both completing the topics and to do the revision in the end, very end. So what I did, like I first finished watching most of the videos along with the rapid videos to complete the first part of reading or watching videos, and then I did the second part of watching videos, but then I slightly integrated the revision part. I slightly, not much deep to the subject, but I slightly did that. And towards the end of the exam, before 30 days of the day of the exam, I started the revision actually. So I planned 10 days for one revision, so I literally did 3 revisions in the 30 days before the exam, and it really worked out well in my sense because I usually forget things that I did it long back, and 100 days is also a long session for this journey.
Yes.
So whatever I did it, the PSM is the most difficult part because I thought I would remember a lot because I took the PSM at the very first of this preparation. I sat for 10 days. I completed watching all the prep planner PSM videos, and I thought, okay, I'll be doing good with PSM. And initially giving the mock,
Yeah.
I literally did perform well in PSM. But on the go with few other mocks, the mark tend to go low, because in PSM I
Yeah.
used to get 23 out of 20, 30 questions right, but then I ended up getting only 11 or 12 questions right in the later coming exams. So I found very difficult time revising PSM because it's a lot of information.
Yeah.
So yeah, the revision was the most crucial part. That it will play all with your emotions and what not actually. But everyone has to do the revision part, at least one or two, definitely. So
Okay, so your approach was doing some part of your preparation and then doing the revision later. So and also you gave so many mocks, so that was also
kind
revision
of, yeah.
because you attempted questions, you saw what's wrong, you saw your explanation answers. That's also counted as revision. That's actually a very good form of revision, active recall. So this was your approach to revision, and without revision, we all would agree it's not possible to remember all of this, unless I don't know you have photographic memory or something.
Yeah.
So now coming to Manik, what is your style of revision? You've already mentioned Anki is your preferred flashcards, active recall questions, but explain more on that. When would you revise a topic and when would you do a new topic? How do you decide? I have to revise today, or I have to revise this much, or I have to do new topic, or something like that?
Okay, fine. So I used to try to make it a point to at least study new topics 5 days a week. That was my aim. Sometimes it would, on a lazy day, it would be four. On a perfect week, it would be five. All 5 days a week.
Okay.
So I used to actually study a new topic, yeah. Then unlock the cards, the flashcards for that specific topic, and the next day I would do the revision first, and then approach a new topic.
Okay.
I would not just wake up, just finish with my university, and then start studying a new topic. I would make sure that I finish doing my flashcards before, because that would kind of help me approach the next topic, because
Topic. Okay.
somewhat these topics were connected. Like if you are studying physiology, I mean, let's say you're starting here and it goes down, so it's connected. So that would help me understand the next topic better. Um, Practically, yeah. So for me, first was doing the revision and then approaching a new topic. And if I knew that one day the revision was really hard, and see, one very difficult thing about active recalling is that it actually takes a toll on your mind.
It's
It
very
drains you.
tiring. It's
It
very
Yeah,
tiring.
it completely drains you, and you feel like, oh, okay, you know what, I'm done for the day. So there have been times like that. I mean, I revised, and it took such a big toll on me. I was like, yeah, no, I'm not studying anything new today, because it was so hard for me
Yeah.
to recall something which I studied just yesterday. So based on how well I revised the previous topic, I would approach the next topic. I would not hurry into a topic. See, that's the difference, yeah. Slow and steady. You don't have to
Yeah.
hurry into things. You don't have to be like, oh
Yeah.
shit, I have to do 5 videos a day today, or I have to do
Yeah.
6 videos today. You approach things slowly, steadily, and that helps you make
Because
your
you're going
base
to study
stronger.
for 2 3 years
Yes, yes,
consecutively.
yes,
That's the
yes.
so okay. So again, a difference in approach of revision. You've revised every topic you studied and then you started a new topic. Whereas if you're in the last mile, finish finish most of the syllabus, and then whatever time you have, just revise. Do not touch anything.
Yes.
I think that would work well. So, one question we had on Instagram, actually, many people asked this question.
Okay.
So, this FMG or the MCI, NBE, they gave a specific list. Like, for example, you will have 30 questions from OBGYN, you'll have 25 from PSM. I'm just giving examples, but there is a list that you have these many questions from this subject. Based on your experience of giving the exam, do you think they follow this? Did you actually see, for example, let me be clear, I did not see a single question from physiology, and I'm sure there is some number mentioned in that list. So, what are your thoughts on it, starting with Dinesh?
So from syllabus there were expected questions around 12 to 15 from physio usually, But
Mm.
as you said, I literally found two direct questions on physio, which I did not answer right. I know, but other physio questions maybe integrated with either farm, I mean like patho or in medicine. So it were like those
Yeah.
questions were easy to answer in that case. So actually, physio was the hardest subject in this journey for me. I tried really to do those subject quite a lot of time, but every time I tried, I failed. So I stopped.
And imagine now, for example, if someone is following this list, and they dedicate month and a half, 2 months to physiology,
Oh,
that is very disheartening that you find zero questions from what you studied, when they say that yes, you will have these many questions. So now, from my assessment, uh, that's why I like that we should all move on to a system based approach, because everything is interconnected. And okay, let Manik do the talking of how this system based approach, how we did the system based approach, and because of that system based approach we were able to cover so many subjects. Like, just from that, we covered ophthalmology of bit, a medicine bit, obs kind of bit. So explain more on this, Manik. How is this possible, studying systematically and covering so many subjects?
Yeah, so as you said, having a system-wise approach, it connects you more and it makes your foundation stronger. So, like I mentioned before, let's say if I would have done physiology, let's say I would have started with as a subject physiology, and I would have finished physiology, and then about let's say 3-4 months after, I would approach pathology of cardiology. So that time gap, that 3-4 months, I would not have been able to understand. And it takes, like I said, I mean, like you also mentioned, Dinesh also mentioned, like Dinesh personally saw just two physiology questions. You did not see any. I do not remember anything. I just came. Yeah, so it's very disheartening if somebody has devoted so much time in physiology, and only a few questions come. But if you're studying in a system-wise approach, I feel it I just see, it's my opinion. I feel it helps you pretty much save time, and you end up covering more things. Yeah, I would not say it's the
Yeah.
fastest approach, but you just end up covering things, and this way you can approach questions in a better way. So for example, you did physiology. You invested a lot of time in physiology, and then you did not, let's say you did not have time for pharma. Okay, so you end up losing out, because in the exam, I remember there were quite a few pharma questions, and they were direct. They were literally direct. Like they had keywords in the questions, and you just had to see those keywords and you would just answer the question. So if somebody did a system wise approach, that person would have been able to answer the question, because that person had connected everything: physio, path, and pharma of that particular system. Whereas in a subject-wise approach, that person might have missed studying pharma and might have missed on answering that question right.
and also, I guess, as you both talked about the systemized approach, I guess the NB also, as I mean, like, want us to do the systemized approach for the future, not to go all like subject wise. Maybe they're expecting us to do that. So maybe in 2023 we can expect that like systemized approach soon also, right?
Okay. Yeah. I think we will see more and more online resources shifting to a system wise approach from a subject wise. At least they will have an option. Like, in India, it's still taught subject wise, so they have to keep it subject wise for sure. But I think studying from a system wise approach is
Better.
like it's the way to go forward, especially with the all the integrated questions. Like, a patient comes to you, presents with this, and basically the last line is the question, okay, what drug will you do? Like, it's a pharmacology question, but to understand that pharmacology question you have to understand the physiology, pathology of the question that has been presented. So yeah, I
Yes.
think definitely we all can agree that the way forward is a system-wise approach to cover a
Yeah,
lot of
I forgot to
things.
mention this actually. While doing the questions, you can understand questions better if you have done a system-wise approach, because like you just mentioned, they're asking a question drug related, but they have given a pathology kind of a question. They have framed it that way, and they're asking the drug, which is gonna help the patient. So again, if you did a subject wise approach, missed on pharma part, you cannot answer the question. If you did a system wise approach, it's very easy to answer.
Yeah, true, true. Okay, so another question, like which is very personal. Okay, we'll start with Dinesh. Dinesh, what resources did you use to study for this FMGA exam?
Okay. First of all, I would advise not to inspire me in this case because I use a lot of resources out there. Because usually people say stick to one and focus on that. But in my case, it's totally different. When I get saturated with information from one platform, I switch, and that makes me more happier to go deep into the subject. So I started with Prep Ladder, and I used Unacademy free videos actually. Please do subscribe to Preeti Sharma and make use of the like productive time offered. So and also I used all the YouTube resources which are free for us
Hmm.
all. So make use of those as well. And also I used Arise PDFs and missed PDFs. So basically I have tried to integrate whatever is available for free, and it worked actually.
Okay, and asking the same question to Manik, even though Manik has mentioned it before. Manik, will you just let us know again which resources did you use throughout your medical school to gain that basic knowledge which helped you pass FMG?
Okay, fine. I mean, I'm not gonna deny the fact that I had subscribed to Prep Ladder, and I did use mostly internal medicine, obsgyn, and surgery.
For our final
Yeah,
year
for
exam, we
for our
used prep
final year
ladder.
exam, yes, I did use Prep Ladder for that. But to strengthen my basic knowledge, for physiology, I'm subscribed to BNB. For pathology, I've subscribed to Pathoma, and for pharma, I've subscribed to Sketchy. So these three things are the basic
The
building blocks
pillars.
for making your foundation stronger, for making your basics strong. And if you follow
Yeah.
these diligently, I feel that you can also clear this exam without actually studying for this exam specifically.
Yeah, and I would like to add, if, for example, even though boards and beyond is like covers everything, if you just want to build basics, you're not preparing for USMLE. One subscription, boards and beyond, would cover all the subjects, preclinical subjects, not talking about the clinical subjects. And also there are more resources which I personally used and also Manik used, like Pixorize for biochemistry, immunology, Sketchy Micro for microbiology, Sketchy Farm for pharmacology, and others, boards and beyond. Everything else, boards and beyond,
Yes.
pathology, pathoma, and farm micro sketchy, biochem pixorize maybe, everything else boards and beyond. So yeah, those were the resources if you want to build your basics. Okay, now let's come to another question. We also gave our final year exams. Okay, so just for a recap, our final year exams included surgery, included obstetrics and gynecology, and medicine. And we were basically supposed to do these subjects from standardized books like Shaw and Datta for obsgyn, Harrison's for medicine, and for surgery are university books or the, what was it, Das,
Das.
F Das. Okay, so how much do you think studying for this exam helped you in FMG? Like how much of an overlap there was? So starting with Dinesh, how much do you think studying for this exam helped you in FMG?
So to answer this question, it covered the most of the exam preparation. So Ops played a major role in this case, and
Yeah.
secondly, this internal medicine. and third comes the surgery. So altogether, I would say it was the best part of our final year to do
Yeah.
all the three subjects, and which will definitely help for our FMG preparation or even the next which is going to come. So yeah, I would say the second paper is solely belongs to our YSMU part. So it varied a lot.
Okay. So, Manik, you tell me that if, for example, a final year student studying at YSMU or any other university studying for these three subjects, if they just study for these subjects in their final year, like you and me did, we did not prepare for FMG, we did not study for medicine surgery again, can they expect to answer a lot of questions from FMG just studying these subjects in final year? Not after that. After that, they are concentrating on the other 16 subjects, not touching these three.
No, definitely not surgery. Definitely not.
Yeah.
Do not rely. I'm telling all the YSME students right now. Do not rely on your surgery curriculum, the book which has been given by the university, and expect to pass to approach the questions correctly in FMG. There's a major difference, and I
Yeah,
could
we all can
literally
agree.
I could literally sit and make another video with you about surgery subject, but please do not do surgery from the university book and then sit for FMG exam. Please don't do that. Don't make that mistake. Whereas when it comes to obscine, yes, if you have studied obscine properly, and you still remember, yes, you're gonna find straightforward questions, obscine related in your FMG exam. So if you're obscine strong, you can expect it to be strong in FMG also. Now coming to internal medicine, I would have mixed up. I would have like 50-50 thing in this one. So because in as far as I remember, in uh, in our university curriculum, yeah, about for internal medicine, um, there were selective topics, yes, but in FMG it's very wide, very broad. So for example,
Neuro.
neurology wasn't there as a subject in for our university exam, but it's very much important for FMG.
Yeah.
So internal medicine, you need to still follow some kind of a video resource, prep ladder, marrow, I don't know, marrow, prep ladder, mist, please do. But so everything in short, surgery no, obscine yes, you can approach
100%
obscine
obscure.
in FMG also with your university knowledge. Internal medicine, it's gonna be like you still have to work on getting more knowledge about internal medicine.
Okay. So basically, if you've done your final year preparation of your university exams, you can expect 20-30% of your FMG preparation done that day. The day you complete your final year exams, you have to get up for the other 70%, which Dinesh very well did in the 100 days. Okay. I think we've covered everything about FMG. Just one question I would like to ask Dinesh, because this was also a highly requested question, and me and Manik we cannot answer that. This
Wow.
question is just for Dinesh because we didn't do it. This question is just for Dinesh.
Yeah.
Dinesh, when should you start taking mock tests for FMG, and when should you know that okay, this is it, I have reached my peak, now I just do what I'm doing every day and I'll be fine in the exam? How do you get to know when to start and when to end?
So again, this is very subjective. And second of all, there is no peak towards this mock test. You never, trust me, you
Okay.
never go to that until your real
Okay.
exam comes. The first thing that you asked about when to start giving marks, that's a very
Start.
good question, because most of the time we really don't know where we stand before taking any of the mock. So to have better understanding of where you start without any of the preparation, give one mark and know that you stand here, like with all your basics are covered for all
Basic
your
knowledge.
from all your med school. Then you're gonna give one mark and you understand. Okay, you stand here. So you have to focus on the marks that you have lost. from the mark. So what you're gonna do is like you're gonna put a proper schedule and try to read at least 5 to 8 subject at least. It
Okay.
doesn't matter which one you're going to prioritize, but you have to do at least 5 to 8 subjects and try giving the other mark. It can be in a month, or it can be in a week, or it can be in 2 weeks. It depends on how your preparation goes. And maybe your second mark can the mark can go even lesser, or it can boost your score. It really doesn't matter, but you have to keep on giving until you achieve that satisfactory one. Because I had kept a goal of achieving 180 like during my preparation, so that I can make sure I will pass. Because
Yes.
what is all
Yes.
about FMGA is passing. Nothing matter how much you
Yes.
score in this exam. So what I want to make sure before going for the exam is I will pass. So I badly wanted a score of 180 from prep ladder, which I never achieved. So it's completely all right. But one thing you have to be very honest in taking mock is like you should not use Google, or you should not use any of your materials which will be around you while giving the test, because that kind of
Yes.
achievement is,
No cheating.
yeah, no cheating, and that kind of achievement is not really helping you in any ways, because the mark what you
Yes.
get can reward your time of giving a mark of 5 hours, but then what you tend to do is like, okay, I got this passing, I will definitely pass in the exam, and then you get demotivated, or I mean you get like very chill and
Pseudo
relaxed. I can
confidence.
do it later on, right? This, you should never do that to yourself.
Yeah.
And you can give as many marks as you want, because I have seen people saying that they have given 30 marks, which is very surprising to me. So it really depends on how hungry you are to take that questions to yourself. So it is completely all right to get questions wrong, and to spend more time into your tests series, and
And
also
learn
exam.
from those mistakes.
Yeah, fine.
And learn from those mistakes of the mock.
And
Yes.
also
Right?
one more thing to add on is like, do not try to sit and read all the explanations given for each and every question, because that will suck a lot of time, and you cannot even think of reading the next
Yeah.
portion for your schedule. So uh, try to do certain part that okay, you have done this and you have gone wrong, but most of the time I skipped the part of going back and checking all those questions. What I did, like whenever I go out and whenever I feel like I'm bored, I just go through. Okay, I got this question wrong. That's it. But there will be frustrating times that why I'm not improvising, because I added literally for 5 marks. I got 148, 149, 150, 150, and 148 again.
Ooh.
So this was my score
Okay.
throughout. So it's fine. So
Okay. Okay. So basically, the whole point is you should first mock should be
without
start of preparation. This is where I stand, and based on that mock, for example, if I got 0 questions of medicine correct, okay, I should maybe do some medicine first, then prioritize other. We can build a study schedule based on our first mock, and then improve from there, and keep giving the mock till we reach our target score, which is just which should be above 150.
and also
Many people want
sorry, Shubha.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
sorry,
say.
because I might forget this to mention. Because one of my
Yeah,
friend
yeah,
he
yeah.
shared this thing to me, because what happened while giving marks, he felt very demotivated that he's not scoring good, and he gave up on marks. Trust me, don't do that.
Okay.
Because your preparation and your marks are very important, because when you give the marks you understand where you stand again, and without
Yeah.
that you don't understand whether you're doing it right or wrong. So he actually like didn't pass the exam, but what he shared with me
Okay.
is like I should have done the mocks more,
More
so
marks.
he
Yeah.
could have understood that where he stands at the timeline, So do not skip the marks. It is very important and very crucial for you to understand how the questions are going to be.
Okay.
I'm so
So
sorry.
I think we've completed. It's no problem. I think we've completed everything. We've discussed the different approaches. We've discussed subject versus system wise. We've discussed the pattern of the FMG which they are going forward with. We have discussed our revision strategies. We've discussed mocked exams. We've also discussed how the final year exams overlaps with the preparation of your FMG. Basically, I would say this was a one short video for everything you need to know about FMG. And everything you need to know how to prepare for FMG and how not to prepare for FMG. So I think this has been it. Let's move on with your last message to the following, to the people, to the aspirants, FMG aspirants who might retake the exam or might be giving it for the first time. So starting with Manik, what would you like to say to them?
Okay, a few things. First of all, guys, it always helps if you have some kind of a study partner with you, somebody who motivates you, who plans with you, because see, two brains are always better than one. And
True.
like for me, I mean, while I was giving my final exam in my university, some of you were the one who used to, like motivate me. Sometimes I used to feel really down. I used to feel like not studying, not picking up the book. But you were the one who would tell me, okay, at least if you're not feeling it, at least just study one topic or something. So that have someone to motivate you like a hype man. Secondly, please do Q banks. You should do Q banks.
Yes.
Do not feel demotivated. I know you will perform. I'm telling you right now, you will perform terribly when you start doing Q banks, and you will feel demotivated. You might feel somebody's gonna judge you, but please don't think that. Keep on practicing questions. And now, thirdly, something which I want to mention. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. So, if some of you have already given, let's say, USMLE step one while in your university years, if you have given that step one, so once you give step two, also, you are ECFMG certified, which kind of automatically makes you licensed in India. Am I
Yeah,
being
you
right
do
so
not have to
here?
give. Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Then you do not have to give FMG to
Yes.
practice.
Yes. So in case you have done that, in case you are someone who's studying in your, let's say, fourth, fifth year, yeah, and who has given step one, just focus on giving step two. Do not
But disclaimer, sorry to interrupt you. This is all going to change. Everyone will have to give the next exam. So I don't think so this will apply anymore.
Okay.
Not sure. The guidelines will come. Anyway, I think if you've done with step one, you're gearing for step two, you will pass FMG.
Or like
Yes.
Like
Yes.
if we can pass FMG with half of, or okay,
Less
let's
than
say more
half,
than
yeah,
half
yeah.
of, more than less than half of
Uh-huh.
USMLE step one preparation, then someone who's given it can easily pass it.
Yes.
Because the goal is to pass.
true.
Person who's getting 300, person who's getting 150
Same.
Same thing.
equals.
Yes.
Same. Don't stress about this exam much.
Yes, so yeah, that's a really good point, because I mentioned it to you after giving my exam. Yeah, we both gave at the same center.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
if somebody has cleared step one in USMLE, trust me, you will clear this exam. Just sit for it, and do not be scared. Please do not be scared
Yeah.
to approach questions. To be scared, like, oh, have I done enough? Have I prepared enough? You will never know until you actually sit and do it.
True. So moving on to Dinesh, what would you like to tell your fellow aspirants, especially who are with your approach of the last 100 days kind of thing?
I guess most of the viewers watching will be of this approach, probably. I'm not sure.
Yes,
But
yes.
I would like insist one thing, that we have to have this trust on your seniors, because unbelievably, like, they help us a lot in guiding through this journey. And even I had one, like, his name is Dr. Ramakrishnan, and he guided me in this path, how to start the preparation and what to read and what not to. So, and also the second thing that you have to remember is, like, you have to inspire only one. Trust me, if you're going to inspire a lot of people, because there are a lot of YouTube videos coming up for you to motivate, but then what in the end happens is, like, you take so much information from different people, and you end up in a
Yes.
state that what should I do next? Because I did the same thing at the start of this journey, and then what I felt like, watching every other video from the YouTube channel demotivated my like energy. It did not push myself to do the next day reading. So what I did, I completely stopped watching all those videos. and it is okay to understand the strategies and concepts from all these videos, but it's not gonna help you a lot, you know. So it is all about you, how you're going to prepare in this journey. So inspire one, that is totally fine, and just go on with that strategies and whatever you are going to have in that journey. And third thing I would like to insist, if the viewer is the in the first year or second year, as my friends are already mentioning, that you should also focusing on the basics, because all the examinations around the world are changing. So it is quite
Yes.
much important. You have to focus on the basics right from now. Do not stress on to the subject very much, but at least do 1 or 2 hours a day, and then it is more than enough. When you graduate from the university, you know a lot of things, you know, compared to
Yes.
all your
That's what happened with us.
you're the best examples, you know, on this podcast. So it is okay, you know, to spend 1 or 2 hours a day being at mid school. You know, it's very important too. So
Yes.
that's my advice, you know, for all the viewers of this podcast.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show and spreading so much knowledge about your preparation, your tips, tricks, and hopefully you and maybe me also inspire a lot of people who are watching this. And I would like to wish best of luck to everyone watching this and who's going to give FMG or the next exam. And if you happen to follow any of our approaches, we'll be happy to know that. Send us a message, DM, comment down below, like this video.
Share, subscribe.
You know the drill. Share, subscribe, everything.
Press the bell icon.
If this video has helped you, yeah, press the bell icon. Don't forget that.
And also subscribe to my channel. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, and subscribe to Dinesh's channel. And if you want to see more of Manik, you can watch the first episode of the MAM show, which was on guidance in medical school. Manik appeared there as well. So yeah, that's been it. Thank you for your time, and we will see you, or I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
That's a wrap. Yay! Whoa. Okay, wait.